guys, welcome to Game Latte. I'm Cindy, and today we're going to be going into the secret world. Wow, dark days are coming. Also, I am drinking an iced coffee. How do you make an iced coffee? Very simple. You brew regular coffee, or espresso, whatever, and then you dilute a whole bunch of sugar into it to taste, however you prefer your coffee, if you like it sweet or not. Then you chill it in the fridge. And then you take it out once it's chilled and I put about half coffee and then half milk. So about this much coffee and then this much milk and then ice cubes. And stir it and there you go. You got yourself iced latte or iced coffee, whatever. Pretty awesome. And it actually tastes really good in case you're wondering. Alright, on to the secret world. This has been my new fascination in gaming. I have not been able to stop playing. I was in the beta and I was, to be honest, I was not completely blown away. I didn't even think I was going to subscribe to the game. And I actually bought the game mostly out of curiosity. Oh, actually, no, that's not quite true. I bought the game because of something Ragnar Tornquist said on the beta forums before launch. It was like a week or so before launch. I think a couple days. I don't know. Can't remember exactly. Well, who is this Ragnar dude? He is the lead director, producer of The Secret World. He's the guy behind Longest Journey, Dreamfall, and now The Secret World. So he's, to me, pretty much the guy that put Funcom on the map. So, and I love him. Such a fangirl, oh my god. But anyway, he's really imaginative, talented person in the gaming industry. And he made this awesome post on the beta forums before launch, and it was about how we're gonna get new hair and be able to change our faces and all that, and kind of have plastic surgery. And so we're getting two shops, a barber shop and a plastic surgery shop, and we're going to get more options coming in August. But the way he posted it was completely in character, like as if you were reading an article in a newspaper or in a magazine, something, announcing these places. And I completely and utterly fell in love with this. I don't know if it was with just the producer himself, just because how he presented himself, and he's another thing too is he's very present in the community. He posts like crazy on his own forums and on massively in other sites and stuff like that, gaming sites, and I just love his enthusiasm and passion, and that alone has kind of sold me on the secret world. I mean, I don't know how many other games I can say this. Maybe just Final Fantasy XIV, because Yoshi P has a lot of the same passion, and he has the same connection with his community that Ragnar does. So both these games, I like the fact that the person who's in charge seems to care so much, and that to me makes the whole difference. It's the whole difference between that game and other games out there. So anyway, and I'm so glad that I did give the Secret World a chance, because since I've bought it, I completely fell in love with it. At first, I had a hard time making my character because I'm not a big fan of the character models. They're not the prettiest out there. Especially if you're like me and you're used to Korean and Japanese MMOs, or games that are really pretty like that, and then all of a sudden you go to something like that where it's more realistic. It's for example, Fallen Earth. I could never ever get myself to like those character models. I tried so hard, because I love the concept of post-apocalyptic and crafting and be able to make your own vehicles and all that. But damn, I could not get around the doll's eyes and just the look of the Fallen Earth characters. I just couldn't do it. But the Secret World isn't as bad. They're more refined than that, and they kind of grow on you after a while. Once you start playing the game, and the cool thing is that not everyone's pretty in this game. So which is nice if you're looking for that realistic look, because if you go outside here in the world, not everybody's pretty either, and that's fine. There are some that are, and there are some that aren't, and for me, that's good because it's realistic, and this game is trying to be a little bit more realistic. Not too much, it's not photorealistic, thank goodness, but it is realistic enough that it gives you that illusion that's, it's our world, but it's sort of like a different dimension or something like that, which is, very apropos, very appropriate. So anyway, the game itself, let's talk a little bit about the background. It's again, it's based in reality. It's based in our world. It's a modern world MMO. So it could be happening right now or whatever, or a couple years from now, or a couple years in the future, for example. But it's happening around now, and everything is true. That's the concept of the game. So all the myths and legends that you know about are actually possible in the secret world. And it does have a lot of Lovecraftian influences. You know, the call, not a call, but I never know how to say that. The squid head person. I don't know. I don't even try to say his name. I can't. I can spell it, but I can't pronounce it. And I know some people are gonna get pissed for me to try to pronounce it, so I'm not even gonna try. Okay? So you don't know what I'm talking about, right? Squid head? Okay. So it's influenced a lot by that, but there's also there's a lot of the longest journey and Dreamfall influences a lot, especially in the names of the places. There's like Journey's End. There's a poster at the beginning of the introduction movie. At the end, it says Stark dash Arcadia. So if you played that, you know what they reference to, and it's just awesome. But again, back with the lore. So what happens is there's different. You have the reality, our base reality, but along this reality, there's other realities, and what seems to connect everything together is this place called Agartha. And in Agartha, there's the Tree of Life, and the Tree of Life serves to connect all the realities together, all the dimensions, and it connects places around our own dimension. So that's how you get around in the world, is through Agartha. How do you get connected to Agartha? You get introduced to that in the very first movie, in that your character is sleeping and it swallows something. It's actually a bee, and the bees are from Agartha. And in if you look up the mythology of bees, they are believed in a lot of ancient religions and belief systems that they are wisdom, and they are from the Tree of Life. So the bees in this game are actually pretty important. They, at first, when you start playing, you're just kind of like, this is kind of weird, and then you're like, why are these bees bugging me all the time? Because you'll go through the game and you'll find lore items, and you click on them and it says buzz or bees, and then if you look through the lore pages, it tells you, you know, kind of like rambling kind of things. But the more of them you get, the more you start to understand that the bees are there to guide you, and they give you your power from Agartha. So you're kind of the chosen ones for whatever. And the reason, I think, so far, I could be wrong, I have not played the entire game yet, the entire main story so far, so I could be wrong, but from what I'm starting to understand is that, or picking up on, is that the bees are preparing for the end of days, basically. There's something going on that's unsettling the realities, that's making sort of some of the realities clash together, and that's why we're seeing all these monsters come out, and the veil between the worlds are just kind of dissipating, and all these things are coming through into our world that don't belong there, and the bees are sort of like recruiting a whole bunch of people to rebalance things, I think, anyway. I could be wrong, but that's what it seems like. And so there's three main factions in the game. There's the Illuminati, the Templars, and the Dragon. And the two Illuminati and the Templars are from the West, and they've been battling a long time, and we're in a Western culture here, and so we're pretty familiar with that already in our own reality, in the real world, right? So in that world, the Templars finally kicked the Illuminati out of Europe. The Illuminatis are from Egypt to begin. That's where the very first Illuminati cult came from. And then the Templars, for some reason, I didn't get as much information on the Templars as that, but you know, they've been in the Crusades. They're very religious and all that, so I imagine they have more of a religious, you know, Catholic kind of whatever origin. And the Templars are definitely more about waging wars and they're more about force and forcing. They have military might, while the Illuminati are all about science and unraveling the mysteries with science and all that, and controlling that science. And they're all about power and obtaining power through manipulation and all that. The dragon is Eastern, and the dragon is all about chaos theory. And when it comes to chaos, it's not like complete, like everything's going crazy chaos. It's actually order. So it's like if you're familiar with fractals and that kind of thing, it's very mathematic and very calculated. And they believe, for example, in the butterfly effect. In fact, that's the one image they keep bringing back, and they call you a butterfly. Their agents are of the dragon are people that go around and they kind of start a domino. They just do a little thing, and then all of a sudden there's a chain reaction happening, and they like to control that. They like to control chaotic order and kind of manipulate how things happen or how to fix certain things that are going wrong in their opinion or whatever. So that's the difference with the three factions. None of them are bad or good or anything. They're just all have different themes, and it's whatever you prefer. That you go into, and you select your faction from character creation. Personally, I went with the dragon because it's more natural. I like the natural order of the world and all that, and harmony, whatever. And I do like their theory of chaos, or the chaos theory. So that's what I went with, and it's been really good so far. I don't like the Templars or the Illuminati because they're just too gung-ho and crazy and whatever, materialistic. So, okay, what else could I say? Oh yes, so you get into the world, and one of the first things you come across, of course, like in any MMO, is the combat. Hold on, I gotta take a sip. Actually, no, the first things you're gonna run into are a lot of talking. But it's good because it introduces you to the world. The NPCs are very lively, although the animation could be better. Like, none of them really look at you when they talk, so I found that to be a little, I don't know. Actually, no, in the cutscenes they do look at you. It's when you talk to an NPC in the world that they don't connect, and I wish they would kind of focus on you when they talked, but whatever. Other than that, the voiceover is really well done, and I really enjoy how fleshed out all the characters are. There are stereotypes, but I think that actually makes the story better because I don't know, we kind of need stereotypes in order to put a point across or just to point out something about society. That's what I find anyway. But other than that, just go back to the combat system. Oh, one more thing are the lore items. There's a bunch of lore items that you can collect. So, and these are completely optional, but they're fun to do because you get to find out even more about the world. There's just more secrets to uncover. But combat system, so you go to, in my case, it was the dojo, the temple, and where I got trained with weapons. So you basically got to just pick the weapon that you want to use. And you start with one, but you can eventually end up with two so far. So right now I picked up a blade as my first choice, and I've been unlocking all the blade abilities. So what happens with abilities is, so first of all, you have a character wheel, and it's not like picking paladin or monk or something like that where you have character progression is pretty much done for you. In this game, it's all tree progression, and you have to do it yourself. And you have to think about which skills you're going to use and all that. But you can, if you want, unlock everything. But it's just going to take you more time. So, but if you have the time and the patience to do it, you can unlock the whole entire wheel if you want. And the thing is, a lot of people get confused. Why, what do I do with all these skills and all that? And you can only use 7 of them at a time. And so and that way it's a lot like Guild Wars, where you get all these freaking skills everywhere, but you have to choose which one you're going to use for what situation. So it's tactical in that aspect, which I really enjoy. Now the thing too, you have character skill points as well, which is another sheet that you get, and then you can level your stats. So if you want to wear, belts of level 3 or 5 or whatever, you have to level that separately. And there's three armor slots, I guess. We don't have traditional armor. All we have is things kind of like jewelry that you can put on your body that act as your armor, so to speak. So you'll have a face tattoo or I think it's a face tattoo or ashes or whatever. And then you've got a belt, you've got a pendant and ring and a bracelet, I think. And those are, and your character skill points, you get those as you level, just like AP points. And and then you have to level those in order to wear the next level, the next tier. So let's say we all start at QL 0, and then you get 1, and then you can wear 1 head stuff, and you can wear level 1 uh, chest stuff, whatever, you know. So there's 3 different not ranks, categories for those. And then there's also the same thing for your weapons. You have to level, again, your quality of weapons through the character skills. So there's 2 different things there. Also, you have decks that you can aspire to. You don't have to. Decks are pretty much templates of the classes that you can make that Funcom has given us. And as a reward for completing those, you get an outfit. And it's a multi-slot outfit. And what that means is that once you apply it, it covers from head to toe, and it takes up all the slots. Now, since we're talking about that, let's go into the appearance. You have a dressing room, and that's, you know, most of the time in MMOs, armor and looks are pretty much the same, because that's all you have. That's what people see is just your armor. In this game, they have the dressing room, which is just street clothes, and whatever clothes you can get them from the in-game store, Pangea, so far, and you can get it from the cash shop store as well, and it's all just fluff stuff in there. But it's not armor. Like your cap that you put on doesn't have +5 perception, anything like that. No, that's all tied to the talismans talismans, there you go, I was telling you about earlier. So the clothing is just for flavor, so you can look absolutely however you want. You go through the dressing room and you pick what you want for your jacket, for your chest, for your legs, whatever. But there are certain things that are multi-slot that will take up everything, so you can't pick and choose. You can't wear sunglasses with your armor, for example, your Templar armor. Which is kind of, people are actually starting to ask for that now, because that would be kind of cool. But, so there you go. I feel like I've been talking a lot. What else can I tell you? So the progression system is very, I don't say sandbox, but it is a free-form progression, absolutely. The game is not really a sandbox. It is a theme park, or a theme-oriented, hold on. Sandbox to me means being able to construct things, being able to make your own thing. You know, sandbox, you give your tools and you do something with it. In the Secret World, everything is given to you by quests and missions and all that. So it is very thematic. You are being led through it. The difference is that you are led through regions, but you're not led from one quest to another, really. You can take the quest in whatever order you want. The only quest you can't change the order of is the main quest. But when it comes to all the little side quests and stuff, I mean, it doesn't matter. You can just go through whatever. Some people think they still don't like that it's too linear, even though the game promised to not be linear. But I don't know, it feels to me like it's a mix of both. It's linear, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. So whatever. I love the fact that you can go through the world and you're just wandering around, and all of a sudden there's a little quest icon. And it's not just an NPC with an exclamation on their head. It's just like a little icon that's like, maybe there's a bloody body on the floor. And you're like, what the heck is that? So you click on it, and then it tells you a little blurb, and then you go on this quest to find out what happened to the body, or to kill the monster that killed the person, or stuff like that. So I find it's really exciting. The game is very, very atmospheric. There's it really draws you in. The storylines are excellent so far. I'm absolutely loving every moment of it. There's a lot of quests and missions that are not. There's always going to be combat, I think, in the game, because that's the way that the game is. It's an MMO, right? So an MMO has combat pretty much all the time. There are quests though that are encouraging you to not aggro anything, which is kind of, it can be a little tricky, and it don't penalize you for aggroing and killing monsters, but you should try not to, just because, you know, it's a bit more fun that way. And so sometimes you have to go solve puzzles, sometimes you have to go online and look up some of the websites that they made, and you know, just figure out clues and stuff. And it's a lot more like Nancy Drew and those types of games where you have to look through clues, and it's, I don't know, that is really exciting in an MMO. It's not something that I've seen ever, I think, other than in Uru. or Mist Online or whatever that was called. I think it was called Uru Online and Uru. And but the problem with that game is that all it had going for it was um was puzzle solving. There wasn't a whole lot of anything else, and I didn't understand really how it worked, and it was kind of like, I don't know, when I tried it, I was the only person at the beginning, so there's nobody to help me, and I don't know, I found it to be not that fun. To put it mildly, while the Secret World is tons and tons of fun in many different ways. So really enjoying it a lot. So I think I'm going to stop there because I feel like I've been talking for a while, 20 minutes about the Secret World, and I'm probably missing a whole bunch of information. It is scary. It is a horror based MMO. So, it's not all peaches and cream. There is uh, ghosts, there's hauntings, the monsters aren't that scary. For me, the scariest parts were really the ghosts and all that, and just the atmosphere, and they just can creep you the heck out. And but it's neat to see all these myths and legends kind of come to life in a more realistic way. The game reminds me a lot of not Dreamfall, Longest Journey a bit, but it does remind me mostly of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. That's the game that keeps coming back to my mind when I play the Secret World. And if you like that game, then I would definitely recommend taking a chance on the Secret World. And I have a lifetime subscription to that game. So because that's how much I love it, and that's how much I think I'm going to continue playing it, and I don't want to regret getting it, like not getting it like I did Lord of the Rings Online, for example. Kind of wish sometimes that I would have gotten the lifetime, even though there's a lot of things about that game that drive me crazy. That was still the one game where I actually got really close to max level. So, it interests me for long enough, for that long. And the Secret World, I think, is going to do even better because it appeals to me a lot more than Lord of the Rings did. And and I wish Age of Conan, for example, had a lifetime because I always want to go back to that game, but I always find a reason not to. So, and I enjoyed the heck out of Age of Conan. A lot of people talk smack about that game, but I always find it to be a really good adventure online game. Maybe it's not the best MMO out there, but as an adventure game, it is awesome, and I love the story and the theme of it and the combat system. So whatever. So I know that I'm gonna enjoy the Secret World a long time, and I hope you do too. If not, if you hate it, whatever, let me know. Comment below and let me know what you thought about this whole video. I will we'll catch you next time on Game Latte with your iced coffee, maybe. Bye.